Cancer, welcome to Monarch Intuition, and today I'm going to be doing your March 2023 mid-monthly check-in reading for you. So if you're new to my channel, what I like to do is I like to pull one major arcana to see the energy and then clarify with a different deck. So what major arcana needs to come out for the sign of Cancer? What's going on for you? We have the Empress. So sitting in the lap of luxury right here. Now you might not be sitting in the lap of luxury, but the Empress does represent a very fertile period. So that way you could advance into the lap of luxury, okay? So this does represent, possibly getting a new job, getting a new house, getting something that is tangible within your life. When we look at the Empress card, it's important to understand that she really represents more so of a country, and the Emperor does represent the king of that country. So it's like the President of the United States, right? And the United States would be the Empress. That's why we usually name countries after women, because they represent where we are all from, where we all, are birthed on. So with this Empress energy right here, this is you attaining something within your life or sitting in the lap of luxury. She does represent a fertile, abundant period, so children could be possible. You might be finding out someone is pregnant. But it also represents the wellspring that comes out from down the mountain. It's kind of like the wellspring of eternal life. So what's going on with this Empress energy? What do we need to know? It does rule Taurus and Libra. Libra is a female who sits on the masculine polarity, and Taurus is a male who sits on the feminine polarity. And remember, Libra does rule the balance of the scales. So it is Venusian energy or Venus energy. So what's going on with the Empress? We have the Nine of Swords, we have the Star in reverse, and we have the Ace of Cups. So I feel like you've lost your way and you're terrified about that. But here's the thing, you have the Ace of Cups, that wellspring of water that comes down the mountain. So you're going through some sort of very intense period of anxiety with this Nine of Swords, okay? And it seems to be because you've lost your way in life. This is very similar to that Gemini reading, but here is the Ace of Cups coming out with the angel, right? Remember, the angel hand delivers the Ace of Cups to someone. So I do feel like you have someone within your life who is going to come in and help deliver something to you about some sort of emotional situation. But let's clarify this. What's going on? You might be dealing with the Nine of Swords because you lost this emotional connection. So we have the Three of Swords and we have the Death. So I feel like a relationship has kind of ended within your life, and it doesn't always have to be a relationship. I don't actually like to do love readings, but when I see the Three of Swords with the Death energy along with the Nine of Swords, this does represent heartstrings breaking, okay? So when we talk about heartstrings breaking, you have heartstrings within your heart, right? And whenever you suffer like a really bad breakup or some severe trauma or whatever that situation is, those heartstrings can snap, which can lead to an early death. So whenever you feel like you're dying because you're going through a breakup or a really traumatic situation, it is kind of because you are. So with this death energy and the heart energy, be aware of that. You are feeling like you're going through a very intense period of heartbreak right here. This could be coming up for you, so keep that in mind. What's this Star in reverse? You have the Ten of Wands, and you have the Four of Pentacles. It feels like you have to give up on a goal. Something that you worked really hard for just did not work out for you, okay? You have to give up on something that you truly wanted. What is this Ace of Cups? You have the Seven of Cups, and you have the King of Swords. But because we've been through this before, Cancer, is that the angel is always sitting in the seventh cup, okay? The angel wants to test you with certain things. The universe wants to test you. And in a way, it's about, have you matured as a person? Can you see through things with the King of Swords energy? Can you pierce the veil of illusion? And that's what's important to understand, is that the Seven of Swords does represent an apparition. It's an illusion. But there are 7 different paths, but only one of them is truly real. So what's going on? Why did this happen? I want to see why this happened before we get into this over here. Four of Wands, Two of Cups, Queen of Pentacles. Okay. So I feel like you had an emotional connection with possibly something from the earth right here with this Queen of Pentacles. And you were celebrating this. You were celebrating some sort of connection with the Queen of Pentacles. But that's the problem, Cancer, is that the Queen of Pentacles is ruled by Capricorn, which is the devil. Now, I'm not saying the Queen of Pentacles is bad, and I'm not saying Capricorns are bad at all, okay? But it is important to understand, to pay attention to red flags right here. Because when I look at the Two of Cups, Cancer, this is actually kind of a dangerous card. Because when we look at the Two of Cups, yes, it does seem like a beautiful connection of exchanging of love between one another. But it does have the Staff of Caduceus right there, which does represent black magic, okay? And no, the Staff of Caduceus is not the symbol of medicine. It is the rod of Asclepius. The CDC even has like a little argument about it. If you go at the bottom, it says, the Staff of Caduceus is not the symbol of medicine. It is the rod of Asclepius. The symbol of the Staff of Caduceus represents black magic in Greek culture. So that's the problem right there. Is I feel like you wanted some sort of healing connection, and it ultimately ended up being kind of like a devilish entity. The Seven of Wands. But I think in a way you kind of pushed this back. Or maybe the angel pushed it back for you. So I feel like there was some sort of kickback right here with this Temperance. You were going to go into a really bad situation, or you did, but somehow, some way, an angel came in and blocked a situation off for you. It could have been, you know, a fight broke out. It could have been something like, you know, someone came into your life and said, no, I don't want that. I feel like there was a barrier put up due to some sort of divine alignment right here. And when I talk about divine alignment, it's like when you put out good in the universe, maybe you actually saved someone's life, right? You know, maybe someone was going through a really bad time within life. Maybe they weren't actually, you know, a poor beggar or whatever. Maybe they had a PhD and then they just had some hard times. They ended up homeless. And you gave that person $20. And if you had not given that person $20 at that day, they probably would have killed themselves, right? So I feel like because you did something like that, you saved up a good concept of sending out a good ripple within the universe. And as the law of equivalent exchange states, what goes out must come back in. So if you send something good out, something good has to happen for you. And I feel like with this Temperance angel, with this, you know, Ace of Cups, that is the divine alignment. That is the divine aha moments, eureka. Because when we look at the Temperance energy, it is a guardian angel that comes in and delivers something at the right moment to you. Okay? So with the Seven of Wands, this represents Leo energy, so kind of like strength. So you have double angels working on your behalf right here. The angel shuts the mouth of the lion, and the Temperance angel delivers something to you. So maybe you already intuitively know this. That could be that Seven of Cups, you're waiting for that. Or maybe you have divine clarity that that is what happened. Or maybe you just want confirmation. You could just be wanting confirmation that this situation wouldn't have worked out. I feel like that's the thing. It would have ultimately ended up with a death energy. It would have ended regardless. With the Star energy, it probably wouldn't have worked out for you. Okay? So you have the Eight of Swords. You're going around in your head, though. The Ten of Cups. And the Knight of Swords. You're thinking about what things could have been, though. You're romanticizing or romancing an idea of what could have been, not reality of situations, all right? And I feel like that's always the problem with the Ten of Cups right here, is that, yes, it is an emotional card, and yes, it's a beautiful card, depending on what cards are surrounding it. But when I look at this Eight of Swords right here, it's like wishful thinking, okay? With this Knight of Swords right here, this is a message that's coming back to you about what's going on that might help break this cycle. The High Priestess, hindsight is 20/20, okay? You're going to have some sort of clarity about what hindsight is 20/20, okay? Four of Swords, so get some rest. Very similar to the Gemini reading. The Four of Swords with the sword underneath the bed, it's like you know. Maybe you went through kind of like a little rough battle. Maybe this was like a quick little fling, but then you recognized red flags or something like that, or something just took someone out of your life or a situation out of your life, all right? The Sunlight energy, divine clarity, that's a very good card, all right? Divine clarity with the sun, this is also Leo energy, so blocking situations off for you so that way you have a better scope or better view of a situation, because the sun illuminates everything. All right? The sun also represents a birth to this Empress energy, a new child. So the Empress essentially gives birth to this child on the white horse, which is symbolic to the death energy, because as you can see, the sun is setting in the background of the death. So I don't really have a good camera, so you might have to look this one up. But right here, there are the two pillars. The sun is setting and the moon is coming up, and when you look at the moon card, that's actually the two pillars there. So we have the Five of Swords. I feel like you get the last laugh on a situation, or you understand walking away is critical. You're just not even bothering with it. You're just walking away. Or you could be getting the last laugh. Let's see. With the Sun card and the Five of Swords, I feel like that's actually kind of like a good thing. It's like you're sitting there looking at a situation, and then information comes in, that hindsight 2020 with that High Priestess, and you're going to be like, ho ho, wow, I'm so glad I wasn't involved in that. It's like you're chuckling to yourself. Like this heartbreak, it just kind of turns around, all right? You have the Seven of Swords, and you're going to feel like a thief, all right? You got away with something. You're going to feel like you got out just in time. You're going to feel actually very clever about this. The Six of Pentacles, the Five of Cups, and the Three of Cups. The Six of Pentacles being handed to you. I feel like this is that, you know, what goes around comes around kind of thing. I feel like because you did something for someone when they were going through a rough time, now that you're looking at sadness, there is happiness for you behind you. There is happiness behind you. I just don't think it's with this. Why is the Empress crowning the reading if this is all sadness? Queen of Cups, your energy is coming out because you're going to see with the Two of Wands the completion. That's what it is. So you're legitimately going to sit there in your house on your throne. And when I say on your throne, it could be on like your bed, your chair, wherever. And you're going to see something. You're going to be looking at it from a bird's eye point of view because this person's holding the globe, right? The end of something. The wrapping up of a cycle. And you're not going to be involved with it because remember, judgment comes before the world. So I kind of feel like this is the rapture call that calls you out of a situation. And because you were able to face that rapture call of the judgment, remember, judgment comes before the world card, right? So judgment and then the world. So if you face that rapture call, that's that Seven of Swords. You got, you know, taken out of that situation, especially with that Sun and that Seven of Swords energy. You got removed, but you get to watch this play out from a different point of view, from that Chariot advantage, right? So I feel like you're actually going to be quite comfortable when this happens. You're going to be sitting there, minding your business, doing your thing, maybe even a little bit sad, thinking about what could have been, and then you're going to get the news, okay? Page of Pentacles is being delivered to you. Four of Cups, when you least expect it, your energy, the Lovers. And I feel like it's a divine connection, it's divine communication that's supposed to be there for you, all right? So it comes in when you least expect it at the divine moment, all right? So you have three angels now. You have the angel of the Lovers, because remember, it's a guardian angel blessing Adam and Eve and bringing them together. You have the Temperance energy, which is alchemizing behind the scenes of masculine and feminine, taking the oil and the water and blending them together to create a third element. That third element being concept of the Chariot, but can also be new life of the Sun. Who was, or what was the situation that you're dealing with? So you have Balance and the Page of Swords, or Two of Pentacles and the Page of Swords. So you saw stability within something, but that's the problem, is the Two of Pentacles is also Capricorn energy. And the Six of Wands. You saw stability and you wanted to float above the clouds with the Six of Wands. But remember, this is all egotistical based, because that's what the Six of Wands is it's like someone, I'm not saying the Six of Wands is a bad card, because it's a really good card depending on what's going on, but on this question right here, this is egotistical based, all right? The Queen of Swords, the truth is coming out about the Ace of Cups. So you have the Ace of Cups coming back. So what was delivered to you, what you saw, something wasn't quite right. The balance seemed that it was there, but it seemed also at the same time floating above the clouds. Remember, the Queen of Swords has the crown of the butterflies, and she has a butterfly underneath her chair. Three of Pentacles coming out, Six of Cups, and the Ten of Swords. Three of Pentacles is Capricorn energy. It seems like something is beautiful, though, trying to give you, because it seems like you were naive, the Ten of Swords. And this doesn't have to be in a love situation. This could be, you know, within your past right here about maybe someone was trying to sell you something. Someone was trying to, you know, get one over on you. I feel like that's all it is. It's like someone's trying to be more clever than you. So before you buy something, definitely price match, all right? You should price match something. Maybe you'll go to a store, and if you Google it, just Google it inside the store. Before you make a really expensive purchase, that's what this could be right here. You're about to make a really expensive purchase for your home, but because you Google it first, and then you say, hey, can you price match? Maybe they take off like $1,000, and you get it for like $200. Maybe one company has it for like super cheap clearance sale, or you didn't even think about using that company. You know what? Sometimes Walmart has, you know, top-notch stuff. Sometimes. And, you know, sometimes you can get things cheaper at different places. Now, I'm not saying to shop at Walmart, whatever. I don't like that place at all. But what is this special new beginning for you? The Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune turning around. So I do feel like it's a fortuitous event. Before you buy anything, especially if it's really big, check the prices, okay? Have you ever gone to like a gas station? Like maybe you went to a gas station a couple of times, for example, like Matco. Matco, you know, they signed a lot of people up for their card, whatever. And you're looking around at all these other different gas stations and you say, hey, I'm going to stop at this Matco. And, you know, maybe you have a discount. Maybe you have like a couple of dollars saved up in your Matco account, whatever. You got special points. I feel like it's something like that. The fortune turns in your favor. How? The Tower. The Nine of Swords. You have a major breakthrough about something. You have an epiphany, all right? It's like you're going around in circles with this Eight of Swords, and then this Nine of Swords kind of breaks through your mind, and the Wheel of Fortune spins around, and then that's the truth. That's the clarity. It's like you're looking at this one building, the Tower of Babel, right? Remember, the sunlight strikes down the Tower of Babel and the original artwork of the Visconti Tarot. So the sunlight strikes down the Tower of Babel with the lightning bolt, and because the tower is gone, you can see everything. You can see the clear blue sky. The sun goes down, the moon comes up, and generally speaking, you wouldn't be able to see the moon because that tower would be in the way, it'd block your field of vision, right? But you can see all of the stars, and that's the whole point, is that there's the sun, moon, and stars. And they follow after the tower has been destroyed. So a fortuitous event strikes down the tower right when you seem to be at your limit with the Nine of Swords. The Ace of Swords comes out. It's kind of like that 10th sword, but it's the truth. It's kind of like, remember, the Ten of Swords doesn't always have to, okay, Ten of Swords is a terrible card, okay, but it is the end of something, usually a mental death, and it can be the concept of suicide, right? But this is not the Ten of Swords. This is you reaching a critical point of where you're like, I don't know what to do, and then all of a sudden there's that 10th sword, but it's the Ace of Swords. So it's like all of this falls away, and then you have the Ace left over. And that is the critical piece of information that you need to move forward. You see something for what it is. You have absolute clarity with this Queen of Swords. The Emperor. the Knight of Pentacles, and the Hanged Man. This is telling me that you need to, so this is like boss, CEO, organization energy, pausing to gain complete enlightenment about something. So the boss is pausing to look at you. What? Coming in quickly, the Queen of Wands, the Nine of Cups. Someone is stopping dead in their tracks, and they see you as some sort of wish fulfillment. It's like they didn't notice you before. So this could actually be someone else. This person is trying to find someone, trying to fill a position, fill a role in something. And you just happen to be walking by, or you happen to be sitting down, maybe eating lunch or whatever, and they see you as this Queen of Wands, because remember, the Emperor energy and the Queen of Wands are both Aries energy. Receiving a wish with the Nine of Cups being brought to you. So it's like you're sitting down. This person is also sitting down in like a stagnant period, but it's like kind of like a weird movie situation where someone moves suddenly to this Queen of Wands as wish fulfillment. So there's all of a sudden movement. The Moon energy. It's like you're perfect for this dark, whatever it is, okay? Maybe you just have, when I look at the Moon card and being a representation of Cancerian energy, some people associate it to Pisces, and I really don't, but it used to be Pisces' astrological body. You used to co-rule it together. I personally see this as your astrological body. I associate the Hanged Man to Pisces, and same with the High Priestess. You are the Chariot and the Moon to me, all right? But I don't think of this as a bad card when you get it in your reading, okay? When I see the moonlight, this does represent treachery, deceit, and betrayal, and backstabbing, and, you know, all things mysterious, but it represents secrets hidden in the dark, occult mysteries. When the sun goes down on the Death card, remember the moon comes up. And I feel like that's the problem, Cancer, is it's like you have to wait for the sun to go down for something magical to happen, okay? So this situation is not going to play out during the day. I feel like this plays out at night. Because that's when I feel like Cancerian energy is the strongest. Because you have like that divine mother energy, regardless of if you're male or female, all right? People like being around Cancers because they are very... You have like this... How can I say it? It's like you lull people, all right? When people get around Cancerian energy, it tends to put them in like this moonlight hazy energy. It's a little bit different than Pisces, and it's a little bit different than Scorpio. Scorpio brings out a lustful desire. Pisces brings out kind of like a manic tendency, and not manic, it's more like daydreamy tendency. Pisces brings out a high feeling, and Cancer brings out a drunk feeling, all right? So this is what this is it's like when people get around you, they feel a little bit drunk. Maybe tipsy. The Magician, that's your magical energy. The Justice, yeah. That's the balance right there. The sun goes down, the moon comes up. The moon goes down, the sun comes up, kind of thing. That's your magical energy. This seems to be taking place in a nighttime scenario. This is almost like, I'm not saying that this is black magic. It's a feeling that you can evoke on people, okay? Now, you have to use that for good, all right? You can't just do it because you can. You have to use this energy only when it's absolutely, you know... I just feel like you exude it naturally, but just make sure you're not, you know, using it to tempt people and lure people or anything like that. I feel like, you know, balance is key. That's what captures this Emperor's mind is that's what the strike of the lightning is. It's like when people sit down next to Cancers, all of a sudden that very tipsy, hazy energy, that moonlight energy, all of a sudden takes over. That's kind of what I'm seeing for you. Because you have a very feminine mystique, even if you are a male. It's a very, like, Leos are brash and bold and in your face, all right? And same with Sagittarius and same with Aries. Regardless of if a Cancer is male or female, generally it's a very subdued, very hypnotic energy, okay? So that's what I'm seeing is going on right here, is it's like it catches that Emperor's eye. The Eight of Cups, the Nine of Pentacles. Walking away from something that isn't complete to something that is more like your own home. What? The Chariot. Okay. So this is blending earth and water energy. So you might have Virgo energy within your chart, but you're blending two different ideas into one thing for victory. So you have like this very sensual, physical aspect to you, but you seem to be all put together with this Nine of Pentacles. It's like you could walk past someone and see through them, because you're not accepting anything less than the Ten of Cups. And I feel like that's what brings this person's attention to you, whoever this is, whatever this is. What is this? Knight of Wands. More fire energy with the Fool. Someone you've never met before, or a situation you've never been involved with before, okay? I almost feel like this person, like you're walking away and they're coming back to be like, hey, who are you? Let me talk to you. This could be a boss. I feel like it is a boss. And that could be something right there, is Aries generally tend to be under a lot of stress. Bosses do. And they don't like yes men. They like people who are like really quiet and are just very peaceful to be around, all right? That's why I'm seeing that this person is chasing after you, is because like you enter into a room with someone and then they immediately go under that like hazy spell, and they might even think that you put a spell on them. That song, I Put a Spell on You, but I don't even think that you did. Be aware, okay? Like, here's the thing. Do not use black magic for evil, all right? I would say just stay away from it in general. But if you know you can do this, I wouldn't just go around and start putting it on people. Don't be like, you know, an emotional vampire. That's kind of like a shitty thing to do, all right? So let's look at your Awaken Oracle. You have Release and Accept. Release and accept whatever that was, and accept this new situation. It's a mystery. One more card. Earth magic. Yeah, that's what I was talking about with that. Like water earth magic is like blending of two different things together. It's like you're growing something now. You're walking away from something that wasn't complete into your past. It's like you're going home, but by doing that, it shows how strong you are. Because remember, the Charioteer is a strong energy. It's another angel energy. It's like divine victory. And this person is like chasing your coattails. It's almost like you don't show emotion to this person, but you exude some sort of like mystique aura. That's what makes them run after you. Now, I'm not saying this is the love situation. It could just be someone wants to talk to you. And it doesn't even have to be, you know, about work. This person could just be very polarized by you. And I don't see it's like a dangerous situation. I just feel like someone really, really is enamored, all right? So let's look at your Witch's Familiar Oracle cards. You have Mischief, Elf, Crow, Sovereignty. So, you know, it's okay to be a little mischievous here and there, just as long as you're not doing it out of spite or anger or wrath. Remember, with I hate saying this. With great power comes great responsibility, but you have to understand that that is the power of the crow. All right, it's a sovereign entity. It was originally one of the messengers to Apollo. So Apollo used them for prophecy. It's a funny story. The reason, a lot of people associate crows to Native American things, and yes, it is associated to them. However, the crow is associated to a lot of Greek and Roman mythos. So the god Apollo used these birds as messengers. Crows in the lore were originally white, right? So they were kind of like albinos. And one of them delivered a message back to him, his favorite one, and he didn't like the message and he incinerated it, and then brought it back to life. That's why crows are black in the story. Because they're basically the concept of a phoenix. They're just really small phoenixes. So that's kind of what I'm seeing for you, is that the elf and the crow, sovereignty and mischief. Maybe that's the kind of energy that you exude, Cancer. You have midnight, the most magical hour of all. I keep telling you, it's like at night. Skull of light, illumination. So you receive illumination at midnight. So pay attention to your dreams. Maybe have a dream journal right next to you. Protection, you're protected right here, and you have spirit guides, okay? Now, a lot of people, because whatever, they don't like the word spirit guide. Spirit guide and familiars are the same thing, all right? So you can call it a familiar. So maybe you have a crow as your familiar. Or maybe listen to the crow. Crows are really smart, so are ravens, all right? They're like one of the smartest birds. They're one of the most intelligent animals on the planet, right? And they will solve things, and they can be very mischievous in solving things. So maybe that's what's helping you right here, is that there is a concept right here. There is a crow, or there is some sort of mischievous energy that kind of tells you something, and it makes sense. All right, so let's look at your rune cards. But you are protected by this spirit guide right here, or this familiar. I can't remember if ravens helped anyone in the Bible. I think they did, but don't quote me on that, all right? I'm not going to try to take that out of context right there. But I think they did. Ehwaz, horse. Moving, progress, travel, cooperation, and partnership, inner progress, and duality of nature. It's duality between water and earth right here. So that's what this energy is. It's like there's a horse, and then there's another horse with the Knight of Wands, and you have the Knight of Swords. I think you pulled all 4 knights in this reading. Yeah, you did. I think so anyway. Let me see. Maybe you didn't. I feel like you have the Knight of Cups somewhere. I think I talked about that. No, I'm holding it. Knight of Cups, Knight of Wands, Knight of Swords. Oh, yeah, you do. You have the Knight of Pentacles out, too, so all 4 knights. Pay attention to the knights. Let me look at your, what are these? Talisman cards? Rado. Speed your journey, ease a transition, aid communication, bring good news, and find your spiritual way. So, I think this is a really good reading for you, Cancer. Just pay attention to that red flag, and I think what happens right here is you catch the eye of someone at night, all right? Be careful, don't go anywhere, be crazy at night. It's okay to go on a date at night, just make sure that you meet up in a public place, all right? Make sure that you're never alone with someone. And if you get creeped out, then let someone know. You can always let the manager know of a restaurant if you feel creeped out, and what they'll do is they'll escort you to your car, and they'll fix that for you. So don't be afraid to ask for help right here. So anyway, Cancer, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I'll talk to you later.